Alright, what's going on, y'all? Check me out here, and in this video, we're gonna be diving into this little, to my new little bestie here. The GoPro Hero 10. Like, this thing right here is a small, powerful camera, and oh my gosh, it's not just for capturing action shots. I see this useful in so many other different scenarios because it just has a ton of features that just have blown my mind.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest, that's a comment.
So in my hand, I have the new GoPro Hero 10. And before I even get started in this video, I gotta give a big thank you to GoPro for not only sending this out for me to check out, but also supporting the channel and sponsoring this video. Because I have not had a new GoPro since, God, maybe the 4, 3? I don't know, but I definitely know it was a lot of iterations between the one that I originally had and the one that I have now. So I'm definitely grateful for the improvements. And speaking of improvements, let's talk about that. So basically with the new GoPro Hero 10, we now have better photos, even higher quality videos, better slow motion, a faster processor. Thanks to that new GP2 processor, footage is also more stable with a better hyper smooth mode. And one of my favorite things is the, front facing screen here so that you can actually see yourself when you're recording. Or you can customize it to be other things, which we'll talk about. But on top of that, we also have a new lens, which you can swap out if needed. And lastly, it also offers 1080p live streaming on top of all the other cool features and things that we have, grown to know and love from the GoPro Hero lineup. But the thing about a GoPro is, like, I don't know about y'all, but one of the first things that I think about when I see a little action camera like this is capturing action shots, adventure things, things that involve being rugged or things that involve, being in the water. But this camera is so versatile. It's great for so many other scenarios other than the typical adventure shots that we associate this with. So I see this and have been using this as a vlogging camera. Now, it isn't the only, method of vlogging that I've been using, but I have added it to the lineup of cameras or tools that I'm using to capture footage on the go. So for one, I love the compact design, like especially when it comes to, trying to grab something in the moment and be discreet about it. This is very nice to use. And especially when you look at all the accessories in which it comes with, where's the one that I've been using? This is the one that I've been using the most. It's a 3-in-1 tripod that offers like the option for you to mount the camera up here and kind of use it like this, or you can actually open the legs of it and use it as a tripod. And it also has this little wrist strap here to kind of help with transporting this, which I absolutely loved. But I see this being like a great everyday camera that's able to capture everything.
Low-key like the super view. This thing is super wide. Like, this is as wide as it gets. Like, you should without a shot of a doubt know if you're in the shot or not for this. Just saying.
Taking a look at its build here. So on the top, we have a quick capture button. So if you press that once, it'll immediately turn on and start recording, which I found super helpful, especially in those moments. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes the simplest task, that you normally would do just so intuitively, you get that brain fart and you fumble to access your camera on like your phone and things like that. So to just have this one action, boom, hit the button, it beeps, it lets me know it's about to record or that it is recording, and now we're good to go. But then along the left-hand side, you have your power button, which also functions as your control button when you're navigating through the menus. Then along the bottom, you have your little, what is this called? The base that you use to mount it to different things. And then along the right-hand side behind this cover is where you have access to your USB-C port, which is where you charge it, as well as your battery and your micro SD card slot. Now, one thing I'll say that I had to develop a technique for is opening this. So originally I was struggling, like, it was tough. I could not open this little side cover, but I figured it out. And sometimes I'll use like a cloth to get a better grip on it. But ultimately, you're gonna kind of take your fingernails, dig down in that little divot there, pull down, and then pull it open. It feels like the harder you pull down, the easier it opens. So Just a little quick tip. And then of course you have your screen on the back and your screen on the front. So I know with my previous version of the GoPro, I didn't have this front facing screen. And one thing that I wish it did have was that, because I know I wanted to use my previous GoPro a little bit more to capture like content of myself. Now this eliminates the guesswork in that for me.
Okay, guys.
All right, we're going canoeing?
How much is on the time?
How are you?
Hello.
Joining us on the canoe ride today.
Maui back there. If we look at Maui, look a little bit to the left. Like I see it like this. There's still a luau.
Right. We had one earlier this week.
Yes, it was very nice and peaceful.
Now, the accessories. The accessories is really what elevates this to that next level for however you want to use it. So for me, and using it predominantly to capture content on the fly and more so for vlogging purposes, with a little bit of adventure stuff in there, I found myself, like I said, using that tripod the most. I also got a chest strap and a head strap and a dash mount. I think those for me are the main accessories that I've been using currently, but I do have my eye on a few others. But I will say that dash mount, oh my God. I went on a trip a couple of weeks ago to check out the new Rivian truck. And I mounted this to different areas of the truck. And oh my gosh, the footage that it captured.
Toma.
So currently right now we're handheld out here and it's cold.
Like I've seen footage like this captured, you know, by other people or other companies and things like that, but to be the person that captured the content, it hit a little different, you know? To see different angles of things that I wouldn't ordinarily have. Like I could really see this leveraging, you know, my storytelling for my videos and stuff like that.
This is a nice little vlogging setup. Nice compact small camera. You can see yourself when you talk. We'll test the audio when we review this to see how it sounds. But yeah, I like it. Ooh. Come through. Come through. Sunlight. Look cool. Look at trouble. Thing 1 and thing 2.
Of course. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, we got trouble out here. There's moments where I'm testing a product and I want to capture something on the fly about it. And this right here could definitely help me be more proactive in doing that. And something that you'll probably notice as you're watching my clips is the audio quality. It's not bad, but if you want to take it to that next level, the cool thing about this is that you can actually connect an external mic to it. So you can get kind of creative in using different, you know, external mics with this. Thus far, I haven't used any, but it is something that I do want to explore. But one thing I love is just how well this captures footage. Like, oh my gosh. Everything is so clear and crisp and saturated and detailed. Even the dynamic range when I'm capturing shots outside look great.
Oh yeah. These noodles will not let you go nowhere. You got at least. I can't go under? No.
You got a life vest and a pool noodle. You got more than a 10-year-old.
A 10-year-old that know how to swim.
I'm telling you, all you do is just lay flat.
Like this?
Or just
Because when you lean forward, you're not going to go nowhere.
Is this your tag?
Yeah. Ay, coming in, yeah, flex. I just wanna win. Yeah, LABB, who we running with? Yeah, 2, 2, 3, 3, I'm on 10 again. Yeah, state your name. Been dope on flame. I just switched the lanes. Damn, he did it again. I just flipped the pain. Stripping and dipping in bass, slab on everything. Swimming, you sinking away, cause I got.
She still hasn't gotten nowhere.
I ain't skip past losses, I had to get back.
And that hyper smooth mode, it lived up to its name. It's super stable, and it allowed me to grab some really smooth shots without the need of a gimbal. Now, another feature that I loved that I wish I remembered to enable a bit more often is horizon leveling. You can even turn on linear leveling with it, so that as you're tilting the camera at different angles and such, it kind of keeps the shot balanced.
All right, so right now I have like linear leveling on, which should mean when I tilt the camera like this, it should have me level. Let me just show you what my view looks like.
It doesn't tilt the shot with your hand. When it comes to low light footage, it looks decent. It did have a little bit of noise, but it's definitely still usable and a nice option if you need a rugged camera to capture things in low light settings. Now the GoPro Hero 10, it has a cloud feature. So basically what you can do is enable the auto upload option so that it'll upload all of your footage while your GoPro is charging and you can get it later from the cloud. Plus when you pair it up with the Quick app, it allows you to edit the footage from your phone so you can easily post it without ever having to, pull out the SD card. Or if you want, you can always invest into the USB-C to Lightning adapter and connect your GoPro directly to your iPhone. Now with that GP2 processor, if you're wondering, is it a noticeable difference? I will say for me and what I was experiencing on the much earlier iterations of the GoPro, it was night and day. Things were a lot more responsive and smooth to the touch. There were moments though where I did feel like I had to be a little bit more precise with where I was touching. But navigation up here is very intuitive to me. It was pretty easy to grasp. So you can swipe down, for example, to access some quick shortcuts. Or if you're swiping from the left, this will let you toggle between the different shooting modes that you can do. Or you can perform that same action by just pressing on the left button here, and it'll cycle through the different modes that you have. If you're swiping from the right, same thing. But when you're swiping from the bottom, that takes you to your media playback. So the mode that I used the most was video mode, but if I tapped here at the bottom where it says cinematic, it lets me adjust the different shooting modes between standard, activity, and cinematic. So yeah, this is pretty dope. Like, oh my gosh, I just love this. There's even a time-lapse and hyperlapse feature, which I actually tested out. Now the battery life, I will say it's probably best to keep 2 batteries on you, the battery that's inside of the GoPro and then an extra one, just to be on the safe side. For me and the way that I filmed, I wasn't really grabbing shots that were longer than a couple of seconds, but most of the time I was able to get by with just 1 battery. But all in all, I just feel like this camera is just great for just a lot of different scenarios. Like for my videographers out there, especially my wedding videographers, I know I personally filmed them and I can just think of some really creative shots in using this, because when you film weddings, people notice the camera, you know what I mean? When you can kind of like diversify your shots, that's a bit more discreet to use, especially at something like a reception. I see this being great for tutorial videos. Those of you that are capturing real estate footage, especially when you take in consideration how wide a room can be and all the panning that you normally have to do with other cameras. With this one, you could just take it to like super view mode and get pretty much the entire room, if not most of the room, in one shot. And a great camera for my travelers out there, especially for those random in-moment shots where time is of the essence and you need to just grab it real quick. Like we said earlier, press that 1 button and it'll instantly start recording. But if you don't like that feature, you can always disable it as well within the settings. So yeah, if you can't tell, I'm a fan of the GoPro Hero 10. It does get my recommendation. If you have been eyeing this and debating if you should grab it, I say go for it. I feel you should be satisfied with it. I know I definitely am. But I'm gonna have more information about this link down below in the description box. If you enjoy this video, you can feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button so you can continue to get content from me, because I'd love to see you up here again. And as always, y'all, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.